Alrighty then, everybody. This is Touchdowns and Tangents. Sorry for being late. Stuff happens. Kenneth Berry here. We got our amazing producer, Nikki. And Pete is at CES in Vegas. And he might join, or he might not. But, either way,
Keeping us in suspense.
I love hitting that button way too much.
Looking quite dapper today, by the way. Pretty fresh.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Long day, and it's kind of cold in this room. But, yeah. So, let's just get straight to it. So, Nikki, I'm going to let you just have the floor on this one. Because we got hit with a triple whammy. So, Bill Belichick, long-time Patriots head coach, arguably the greatest NFL head coach of all time, if it's even an argument.
No, I was about to say, I don't know if there's really an argument.
Yeah, he's forced out. We could say he was forced out. He had to step down as Patriots head coach after what, like a 3-13, 4-12 type of year, whatever. What 4-13? I don't know.
4-13, yeah.
So he doesn't come back, and this broke this morning. Wednesday, Alabama head coach, 7-time national champion, won at LSU, 6 at Alabama. Nick Saban says he's retiring. He's done. And then before that, to start the week after Michigan wins the national championship, Pete Carroll comes out, what was it, Tuesday, and says, I'm stepping down. I'm not returning as head coach for the Seattle Seahawks, but I'll be involved in some capacity with the team in some kind of role. And then immediately USC Twitter, kind of creamed their pants. Said, "Oh my God, he's coming back to USC. Lincoln Riley's going to get the Alabama job." Okay, yeah. So you kind of got hit with the triple whammy, so I'm going to just go ahead and let you have the floor on this one. On this segment we like to call Let's Talk About It.
Well, towards the last few weeks, as a Patriots fan, I realized it was coming, even though it was likely. So I kind of was semi-grieving a little bit already before the news broke this morning. But once it was made official, it still was hard to read. In the same way that a few years back, I knew that the Tom Brady thing was coming as well. I was much more in denial about the Brady one, though. But when the news broke, even though I knew it was coming, it was super hard hitting. There have been 2 times, I think, that the game of football has brought me to tears in my life. And today...
Recording in progress.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Today was almost 3. I got a little choked up there, but not quite. The only other 2 times is when I found out Tom Brady was leaving the Patriots. I literally cried, actual tears. And then the time before that, I think I teared up a little bit, or choked up a little bit when Clemson beat Oklahoma in the semifinal. Because I was sad for not only the team, but for Baker Mayfield. But, yep, today was almost 3. But I held it down. So it was definitely... It sucks because, I'm 24 years old, and Bill Belichick was the head coach of the Patriots for 24 years. So, I know, I have never existed in a world where Bill Belichick wasn't the head coach of the New England Patriots. So, I don't even know how, like, I mean, in the same way, I guess when we lost Tom Brady, like, we'll eventually get over it or whatever, but I don't even know, like, what the next step is here. It's hard to finally realize that the dynasty is dead completely, 100%. With Bill being gone, there's nothing left. But on a related note, I thought it was interesting because Mac Jones is a former Alabama quarterback, and he obviously quarterbacks for the Patriots now. And this poor kid, he posted for the first time in well over a year on Instagram yesterday, congratulating Nick Saban on his retirement. Put out this like tear-jerky like paragraph about how much he meant to him as a coach and all this or whatever. And then the very next day, he had to post something about Bill Belichick. So, bro is going through it right now for sure. I feel bad for him, but yeah, congrats on an amazing career with the Pats, Bill. But I think he'll probably. Honestly, I could see him going to the Chargers. So we'll see. It's going to be hard seeing him coach anywhere else. Honestly, I hope he kind of retires. To be honest, I know that's selfish, but I don't really care. But congrats, and for what's his name, for Nick Saban too. I mean, those are definitely the two best coaches to ever live in both of their respective divisions, sports, whatever. So, and I feel so bad for Pete Carroll because his whole news. I mean, I know you were saying at NFL Network it was a little bit different, but I think for the majority of us pedestrians. I think Pete Carroll's news was swept under the rug just a little bit. But at least he gets to stay with the organization and still like make an impact on the Seahawks. So I think that's pretty neat. But monologue over. We'll miss you, Bill. R.I.P., bro. We'll see about Mike. Is it Mike Vrabel? Is that how you pronounce it? Or
yes,
is it
Mike Vrabel.
Okay. Well, incoming Mike Vrabel. Raw.
I mean, they're saying it was reported that Gerard Mayo is like probably going to be the leading guy to get the job. He's been there very long, and he's considered widely as a head coaching candidate, and he's a Patriots legend.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I don't know how to make my stuff going off. Yeah, I mean. I guess out of this whole situation, the only positive that I found in this is that, what's his name? Bill O'Brien, released some, mini statement, or not mini statement, but he had commented at some time that if Bill Belichick were to stay with the Patriots, then he would also stay with the Patriots.
Oh, that's the ultimate, who the fuck cares what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this moment? That's some Chappelle Show shit. Who asked to hear anything about what that dude had to say?
I think the only reason I get that reference is because of M&M's. but no, yeah, okay, and anyway, so, there's bitter and then there's sweet. We don't have to deal with Bill O'Brien anymore. So, a win is a win. A win is a win.
I mean, that's true. So it's kind of like, for me, all three great coaches, but they're in their 70s. This is kind of the perfect time for them to kind of walk off in the sunset together. But I think Belichick, he's so comfortable in his role,
yeah,
that he's gonna go somewhere and clean some team up. But it's crazy. So Belichick has to step down. Arthur Smith got fired like the little bitch he is. He can go get that FedEx money since he's a nepo baby, and his father created FedEx, so he's flush with cash. Not only that,
I literally thought you meant he was gonna become a FedEx driver. I thought that's the joke you were making.
Nah, people made that joke. He can go work for his dad since his dad created FedEx. That's billions of dollars. That's just stupid money. That's ridiculous. That's Anderson Cooper level wealth. But yeah, he's
make a guess right now. Make a guess. Who's bigger, UPS or FedEx? I'm gonna Google it.
It would have to be FedEx.
Okay.
Because it's fed. Like, it's
Oh, that's final?
if I had to guess.
Let's see. Oh! No, UPS by 4%.
Wow. Where's Amazon at and all that?
Probably way more. They beat them by around $10 billion in revenue a year on a global scale.
That's pretty excellent.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, when it comes down to those three guys, like, I just really can't think of a better time for them all to step down. Because do you really want Belichick to pretty much start over, struggle with another year with Mac Jones? Would you want that? Because I don't want to see that.
Dude, they did Mac Jones dirty, bro.
Really that's fair to say, but I don't want to see another year of that shit. Like, I don't want to see him go out like a flaming
Mac Jones
loser.
well, it's extremely unlikely that he'll be with the Patriots next season, in my opinion. Extremely unlikely. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he did stay, just because I don't think he was given a fair shot in New England with the way everything worked out. But I hope he goes to a team that'll actually, like, try to fucking develop the poor kid, so.
I mean, I just don't think he carries a franchise. I would have never taken him that high anyway. And they're kind of stuck with him.
He was a national champion quarterback at the time, wasn't he?
I mean
he was the most tested.
Yeah, he won a national title, but he was throwing to like 3 first-round picks. Then he had Waddle. He had Mechie, and he had Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I mean our wide receiving core wasn't as atrocious back then as it is now. So
I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, nothing. Continue.
When it comes down to it, all three guys, I think, weirdly, they left at the perfect time. Like, the Seahawks need kind of new energy, and they need somebody to take this team off the fence and into the future. Alabama, yeah, you don't want to be the guy who follows Nick Saban, but there's worse places to get your next job at.
I mean, I think honestly the most likely scenario is they promote from within.
Ain't no way Tommy Reese is being the head coach. You see how bad that offense was?
That's literally what you just said. Tough act to follow. It'll be a lot easier sell if they promote from within, have a couple of years of shittiness rebuilding, and then they just fire whoever they promoted from within and say,
they would eat that man alive. Alabama is They are unforgiving when it comes to football.
Who's like the station?
Yeah, Alabama, the state, is unforgiving when it comes to football. Like, you think Texas is bad? You think OU is bad? Oh, no. Bama might put a burning cross.
As an Oklahoma fan, I think Texas football fans in general are the most intense by far.
No, it's Bama. There's shit else to do in Alabama. Trust me, I've been there multiple times. There is nothing else to do but play football.
My mama was born in Mobile, Alabama. I've been too many times, unfortunately.
And there ain't shit to do there.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, man. And they ain't shit to do in Lubbock, Texas, but watch the Raiders.
Hey, hold on. Texas is like at least 3 times bigger than Alabama. The state.
Okay, like 5 times bigger. But, like...
There's so much more shit to do in Texas. I was in Irving.
There's a whole lot of nothing in between the places, bro. You ever been to Waco, Texas?
I don't want to go to Waco, Texas.
The fuck you think they got going on in Waco? You ever been to College Station, Texas? What the fuck you think they got going on in College Station, Texas? It's called College Station, Texas. What else do you think they got going on except football?
It sounds like a bus stop. It sounds like where the bus drops you off.
It used to be a train station, and they called it College Station because there was a college there, and they just kept the name. Like, that's what...
That's
so, wild. Yeah. I mean, there's only so many people that live in Alabama, you know?
Yeah, but, like, they get religious.
There is obviously the bandwagon fans, the Alabama / Cowboys / Yankee fans. Those
That's
people.
nasty. A Yankee fan in Alabama is nasty. I don't know if they deserve respect.
Oh, dude, I know someone. He's my fiance's cousin. He's a Patriots fan, former. I'm pretty sure he roots for the Chiefs now. He's an Alabama fan, and what was the other team that he really liked? The Astros, of course, and then shit. It was some other bandwagon team, but it doesn't matter. You get it. He's just fucking stereotypical bandwagon fan or whatever. Inseparable.
That it's like there's with Alabama, it's the problem honestly is that they're spoiled. Like, you're spoiled with success. Like,
yeah, I
Nick
agree.
Saban,
I hate Patriots fans too because they act the same way. They act so spoiled, literally. I mean, right now this year we have a reason to like want to kill ourselves. But like the first year after Brady, we made the playoffs, and they were like still super insufferable about how like ass we were and shit. I'm like, dude, you haven't experienced true ass. Like you know what I mean? Like you haven't experienced a true terrible team, and you think that just because we're not the number one seed in the AFC, we're trash. Like, actually, like, kill yourself.
Yeah, it's like with Bama, they'll like burn his fucking house down if Tommy Rees gets the job and like comes out trash.
Oh
like,
yeah,
he was at Notre Dame.
Shit. Bunch of pyromaniacs over there. They can't. It's like the cross burning and shit. It's like still in their genes, and so they can't like take it out.
Yeah, they'll put a fucking burning cross on his house, and they'll be like, we don't normally do this because we save that for a darker skinned hue, but in your case, you're stinking up the fucking joint. All the players would transfer.
Arkansas and Kentucky about how racist those two states are, which they are. Alabama, underrated, dude.
Yeah.
They are.
No, it's not underrated. It's there's whole movies on it. It's just everybody else has upped the ante with their racism.
Jokes, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Arkansas or Kentucky." It's like, bro, I feel like Alabama is like the real sleeper pick in this. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! I just saw what you meant. Like my whole screen just moved by itself. That's fucking weird.
Oh, you saw it? Huh?
That's fucking weird.
Looks like you have one of those like those cameras that streamers have that like detects the movement of their face, and so they it zooms in on their face.
Damn,
you know
this
iPad
is following my every move. Now I feel uncomfortable.
Is it a new iPad?
Huh?
Is it one of the newer ones?
Yeah, I think it's only like a generation behind, but no, it's useful. It's still pretty good. But
so maybe just have that tech.
I was like, I'll spend $300 for it. I don't want to spend too much, though. But yeah, it's like this is kind of like it feels like a reset. There's like a huge power vacuum with these three dudes leaving, but Bama might be in the worst condition because people are gonna poach their players. Lane Kiffin already got hella jokes. But Seattle really, sometimes you can just get tired of listening to the same old voice. Now, the Patriots can just go full rebuild, and they can trade down from that pick, or if they get the right coach, and let's say you keep Mac Jones, but you don't pay him for his 50-year option, and you figure out what the focal point of the offense is. I mean, maybe let's say they make Vrabel the head coach, and then you bring in Derrick Henry. Okay, well, at least you know what the offense is going to be. So that kind of helps with the draft and who's going to do what. And then the defense really isn't a problem. The defense is one of the better defenses in the league. So, I mean, I don't think Harbaugh would come to New England because who wants to follow Belichick?
One thing about the defense, too, I think that people, haven't been talking about this season is that, I like if y'all like if people would like look at who's on IR, it's an extremely extensive list. We were really torched by injuries this year. I really do believe that we weren't a 4-13 team. As bad as we were no 4-13 team.
That's fair.
We were like I think we were like a 7-10, 8-9 team.
Yeah.
It's just literally basically like 50% of the starters on defense got hurt over the course of the season, including just absolute titans, of the team. Judon, easily like number one on that, right? Like was in the running for defensive player of the year last year. Like,
what's his name? He played for the Ravens. He went to Miss. I'm forgetting his name.
Are you talking about Patriots?
He was your best edge rusher. I'm forgetting his name right now. I think he popped his hand. He popped his pec or something.
A Patriots player who popped his pec.
He's a defensive end. He's a defensive end / linebacker. I'm forgetting his name though. He's like your best edge rusher.
I can't. What position did you say?
He's an edge rusher. He almost led the league in sacks.
Okay, let me think. I'm trying to think of who was all hurt. Let me start from the top of my head. Hold on. I knew Judon. Jabril
there
Peppers
we go.
got hurt.
Matthew Judon. He got hurt.
I said that. Oh, you meant Judon?
Yeah, Judon got hurt, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
I
was talking about.
said Judon. I said Judon, and then after you said Judon, or after I said Judon, you said a different player.
No, I meant Christian Barrymore, and then I said Matthew Judon.
Sorry. I thought, that's why I was confused. I thought you meant his backup that got injured.
Him, I think Josh Oosh, I think that's how you say his name.
His backup also got injured.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like,
it's top 10 defense.
Judon and Peppers got hurt, and fucking Miles Bryant, Hunter Henry, Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones, Slater, Jennings, Miles Bryant. I mean, I think I already said that, but still, like, basically our entire defense. But anyway, I think that when we become healthy next year, especially if and when we draft a top 5 quarterback prospect, Michael Penix, we'd be looking solid.
I mean, I think that would be interesting. People were giving him shit for the national title game, but I'm like,
dude, bro was like about to pass out with like broken ribs or some shit, and he was still like trying.
Yeah,
even though he shouldn't have been. He should have absolutely just gone off the field. It was like over at that point. But
I mean, it's your last game in college, so I can't blame him.
And
Michigan got all the holding calls. If we got to be real,
don't get me wrong. Like, Michigan was the better team that game, but it was a lot closer than the final score, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then once you factor in the holding penalty that wiped away that 32-yard play.
Yeah.
And a couple missed throws early.
I think Penix played his heart out. I mean, obviously, like, the interceptions are killer, but a lot of, I think 2 of them weren't even his fault, but I don't know. I would be absolutely ecstatic to have him on my team. So.
Indeed. Me too. As a Raiders fan, me too. But, so let's just get to the Wildcard weekend. Kind of speed through things. So let's start with the NFC. Number 2 seed Cowboys are hosting the Packers. Old rivalry renewed. Jordan Love actually had a great season statistically. Arguably better than what Aaron Rodgers had in the same exact year when he first started out for the Packers. The Lions host their first home game in like 30 years against the Rams. Strange bedfellows meeting again. Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford. Will Stafford be the villain? The all-time villain in Detroit? Who knows? And then you got Eagles, Bucs. The Eagles being the 5th seed, the Bucs being the 4th seed. That's crazy how that played out. You know, the Eagles pretty much choking and whiffing on the 1 seed and the 2 seed and the division. I
don't think they whiffed on the 1. I think that the 49ers had the 1.
No, but I'm saying, like, at one point, the Eagles had the best record in the league.
Oh, yeah.
And then just shit the bed the rest of the season. And, I
So
mean, I don't know. I think the Packers honestly can upset the Cowboys. I see it.
For my sake, I hope not.
Yeah. Like, the Packers seem like if they can get healthy enough and the defense can show up and stifle Dak Prescott enough, I feel like Jordan Love could make a name off Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, especially with how he plays in the fourth quarter. But overall, I think if Dallas shows up and does what they do, they should blow the Packers out. But something tells me the Packers are going to find a way to keep this close, and something weird's going to happen with the officials, and the Cowboys are going to lose. I think the
Packers
Eagles,
have been the Cowboys kryptonite for sure. So
yeah, like that curse goes back to what, 95, 96?
Yeah,
I think
the Aaron Rodgers has always been the bane of the Cowboys' existence. So we'll see if his successor can keep it. But I mean, like the Cowboys have like one of the most historic point differentials at home of all NFL time this season, and they're just head and shoulders better. I can't imagine a universe where the Packers beat them, but like you said, Packers have always found a way to keep it close with the Cowboys, so we'll see.
And McCarthy, I mean, does he get his reckoning?
I think he'll just throw.
Does he just shit the bed? Does he just do what happened with Zeke? Was taking a snap and then caught the pass, and then that was his last down as a Cowboy. Is that what happens? Because if that's what happens, man, I would kind of feel really bad for Dallas.
Okay, Rams-Lions?
This one's tough. My head says Rams, my heart says Lions. LaPorta's still banged up, and I think if they don't have LaPorta, that's a big deal, because the Rams rookie class is playing like they could go on a run to the NFC title game. And Stafford has enough left. Puka, I think more teams are worried about Puka Nacua than they are Cooper Kupp, which is weird. Like, but when you set the NFL rookie receiving record and receptions record, that's kind of what happens. And the way those two receivers are playing, the way Kyron Williams is playing, I mean, if the Lions aren't careful and their defense has been known to kind of slip up, you know, I don't see that. I think Dan Campbell has his team ready. I don't think the Lions are going to make the NFC title game, but I think they're ready to kind of, you know, put some ghosts and things behind them. They won the division for the first time in 30 years. I think they narrowly get by the Rams.
That one's a real hard one, to be honest.
Yeah, like that's that one could go either way.
It's hard to even choose like with my heart, because like, man, I want to see nothing more than than Stafford to be able to rub a loss in the Lions' face, but at the same time, like the Lions deserve this so hard. So
does Jared Goff.
Yeah, I know it's a revenge game for both of them, to be honest. But the media's been selling Stafford and kind of been throwing Goff to the wayside a little bit. But
I mean, that's how it was when they traded him in the middle of the night. That's what I'm saying. Like, Goff has all the juice, like everybody, and then Matthew Stafford got a Pro Bowl nod over Jared Goff. So it's like their careers are forever linked now. He has to beat this guy. He has to win this game for his legacy, especially from a former number one overall pick, who people thought he was a bust and a washout.
Is they both number one? I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that if Matt Stafford was on literally any other team, I might whatever. But he already got his ring. He already got his legacy. Like, it's the Lions. It's Jared Goff. It's the Lions' turn. But I wouldn't be mad either way, personally.
Yeah. All right. Eagles. I think Eagles find a way to get it right. I don't, unless they just have a full blown collapse, and Baker Mayfield just continues the run he's on, which would be shocking. I think Baker, it's very possible.
Baker's gonna bake. He's gonna shake and bake, baby. They're gonna shit. They're gonna take a big fat motherfucking shit all over the Eagles, bro. I cannot wait.
It's
they lost 5 out of the last 6. Fuck them, bro. Fuck them kids, bro. Fuck the Eagles. Fuck Jalen Hurts. Fuck his daddy. Fuck his mama. Fuck his grandma.
That's fine. Whoa. Now we're going too far. That's a good man right there. Like, he's does great work for the community. Like, damn, say fuck his finger. Don't say fuck him and his parents. Damn.
2 former OU quarterbacks, but
that is crazy. Damn.
Fuck the Eagles for real.
Who's the real OU QB?
Completely went from number 1 seed to like fucking. It's so satisfying to watch and to see if I get to watch the freaking whatever they are, 8 and 9 Bucs or whatever they are, take them down in Wildcard weekend. Man, that should be so satisfying. So I'm going Bucs for sure.
Damn, I mean it's very true. The Bucs are no slouch, and it's good. The NFC's honestly it's murderer's row.
I mean,
Niners might get lucky and not have to play like the Eagles or the Cowboys. That would be crazy.
Wait, is Hurts' finger okay?
Not really.
I'm pretty sure it's not fractured, but there's still something wrong with it. So
it looked like it was partially broken, but
yeah, that's nasty.
And then AJ Brown's messed up too. But the AFC not as interesting.
Damn.
But somehow still.
Damn, why'd you say that?
Like the drama is more intense here, because if the Bills lose to the Steelers, somebody's getting fired.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. That's the most confident game out of all of these, in my opinion.
Are you sure? Mason Rudolph could have the game of his life 2 weeks in a row.
Out of all 6 of these games, that's the easiest one.
All right.
Far. Absolutely donkey on them.
You got to keep track of that then.
Right.
Dolphins, Chiefs. The whole Dolphins team is hurt and mangled.
Yep.
They should beat this Chiefs team, but they just don't beat teams with winning records. So I don't believe it. They got to show me.
Ooh, you're going underdog? You're going Dolphins?
They got to prove it. I don't believe them. I don't believe they'll win.
So you're going to Chiefs?
Yeah, I got to go Chiefs. I got to go with what I know. The Chiefs would just have to have like the most ass performance ever in negative 30-degree weather where everybody's dropping passes and they can't run the ball. Because obviously, Isaiah Pacheco runs like a goddamn boulder going down a hill.
It's like a little kid that stole something.
Yeah. He runs like a pissed off kid in a Christmas play. It's just so funny. But he runs like a 4.35, which is hilarious. Like, he's fast as shit, but he runs like a goddamn Benny Hill character.
It's what's crazy is I think both of the running backs for the Dolphins are faster than that.
Yeah, they are. Mostart like a 4.34 maybe, and then A-Chain 4.32.
You pronounced his name right.
I did? A-Chain?
Yay, so proud.
Thank you. I practiced in the mirror. and he would have helped my fantasy team, had I fucking not lost to the goddamn Chiefs kicker who had 24 points in the last game of the fucking year. I couldn't believe that. I'm still mad about it.
Did you see that stat from A-Chain? It was like a record-breaking stat.
Yeah, he's the only running back in NFL history to have 100 carries and average 8 yards a carry.
Yeah, it says he finished regular season with historic 7.8 yard per carries, which is the most per rush by any running back with at least 100 rushes, since 1934. My granddaddy wasn't even alive. That's insane.
Damn. I think my grandfather was just born. That's crazy. Yeah, that's the one thing I think the Chiefs have the advantage if they can get the running game going and then use the passing game to bail them out. But I don't know. Tua in cold weather, we'll see. I think the Chiefs are honestly a better team. I mean, I think the Dolphins are a better team than the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have Super Bowl pedigree. And lastly, Browns Texans. This one.
That's gonna.
This one is a coming out party. This one, you got old Joe Flacco, who could go on a historic run with the NFL's best defense. I mean, and the Ravens don't really want to see the Browns in the next round. They do not want to see the Cleveland. They would much rather see the Houston Texans.
Sorry, I'm a Joe Flacco truther, so I'm going Browns. Which I feel like I cannot believe I'm saying that out loud.
Yeah,
but I'm going Browns.
You said it out loud. It's better than being an Aaron Rodgers truther. I definitely got Texans. I think C.J. Stroud has enough rookie magic left to where he's going to do something spectacular. And they're going to somehow win this game, but probably be horribly depleted.
Remember when the entire world was shitting on the Texans for picking up or messing up the pick and picking C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young?
I always liked C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young. C.J. was taller, better passer, and anybody could have looked good in Bama's offense. So, and he went to the Panthers, which is like the worst fucking team in the league.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, also a big part of why I say the Bills-Steelers game is a upset more so than Browns-Texans because T.J. Watt's not playing. That's like that's vital right there.
Yep.
But all right, let's knock out this college football real quick. So obviously Michigan won the national championship. They dogged out Washington. Was it 34-13? It's their first outright national championship win since like 1948. And Jim Harbaugh finally gets a championship. His father won the national championship in Western Kentucky. His brother beat him in the Super Bowl. You know, Niners, Ravens. And now he finally gets his championship. National champion. They had all the cheating scandals and issues and hoopla. But they win it in the last year of the 4-team playoff. Next year will be the 12-team playoff, which is going to be crazy. That playoff system is going to be crazy as shit. I'm going to really pick and choose what games I'm going to go to. And, yeah, Michigan had like 300 yards rushing, and honestly, they had statistically one of the best defenses ever. The offense was kind of mid, but like Washington could never really stop the run. No Pac-12 team could. Probably outside of Oregon. Oregon's the only team I think that could have beat Washington or Georgia coming into this game. And the way they did the final top 25, they somehow had, I think Oregon was 6th. Either way, like the way they did the rankings, I was like, I would have had Georgia and Oregon higher. I think I probably would have put, obviously it's Michigan, Washington. I think Washington probably finishes 3rd. Oregon could finish 4th. And then I would put Georgia 2nd. Then put Bama like 5th. No, Bama would be 6th and then Texas. I think based off like the losers, I think the winners of their bowl games, yeah, I'd go Michigan, Georgia, Oregon, and then Washington, Actually, no, because I can't put Washington ahead of Oregon. So it will be Michigan, Georgia, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Bama. I think Mizzou should have been a little bit higher, and Arizona was like right at 11 after beating OU. But I think whoever won that game should have finished in the top 10. I think Arizona should have finished at like 8 maybe. But I get why they did what they did. Any thoughts on the national championship game?
Michael Penix, you are a New England Patriot. Other than that, I mean, it was a lot cooler than the final score said. So, Michael Penix is a dog, and anyone who says otherwise can ligma. Dude was playing his heart out for sure. People trying to act like he was faking an injury because he wasn't playing good or whatever, like as if he hadn't had an entire college career to like get that out of his system. I think he just was hurt and wanted to play through because he didn't want to leave his boys out there. So, I think he's him, and I think he's going to be insane in the league, more so than the Michigan quarterback, to be honest. But
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, he's ultimate game manager.
Don't get me wrong. Not to say J.J. McCarthy isn't, an amazing quarterback, because he is, and I'm sure he's going to go first round, whatever.
No, ain't no way he goes first. If he goes first round, that's crazy.
You don't think he's going to go first round?
Fuck no. He's like a third or fourth round pick.
5 seconds.
He's a more athletic Kirk Cousins.
Okay, and Kirk Cousins is a starting quarterback of the NFL.
But Kirk Cousins wasn't always Kirk Cousins. Like, he had to develop into that. And, like, even if he comes back for his senior year, his draft stock won't be higher. So it's kind of like he leaves.
Are you saying Kirk Cousins' archetype is out of style?
I mean, I just think, like, he's not that special. He doesn't have... Like, it's easy when you're handing the ball off to Brake Corm and Donovan Edwards, and you have a defense to protect you.
He did great stats, didn't he?
It was kind of mid. I'm saying, like, they literally took the ball out his hands against Penn State so he wouldn't lose the game. I think he threw, like, 6 passes.
I mean...
And if you take away, like, the early touchdown runs against Washington... Like the 49-yarder, then it was like a 57-yarder that wasn't a touchdown. A 59-yarder that wasn't a touchdown. It was like a 49-yard touchdown run and a 43-yard touchdown run. If you take away those early points, it was like 17-10 at the half. So if you take away those 2 touchdowns, it's 10-3 Washington. And Washington missed on a couple early touchdowns too. Like if the Washington defense had messed up the way they did early, that game looks different.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's hard to...
Yeah, but, like, it wasn't J.J. McCarthy that beat them. Like, even though he gave a great answer when I talked to him the week of the game, like, he chases purpose, not fame. And he played his part. He played his part. He had a big pass play down the field that kept the drive going. He didn't lose the game, and I think that's what he's going to be at the next level as a game manager. He's not a Lamar where Lamar's talents drives the offense. Patrick Mahomes' talent drives his offense. Joe Burrow's talent drives the offense. Like, Kirk Cousins, you just don't want him to lose you games and just stick to the game plan. That's what J.J. McCarthy, that's the role he'll be the most successful in. Because you gave him an elite run game, a great offensive line, and an elite defense to help protect the lead. So, and he can make some plays with his legs. So I think he'll probably go anywhere 2nd to 4th round. No way he goes past the 4th round unless he just has a horrible pro day. But, yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what he does if he goes to the Senior Bowl, if he decides to come out. But Washington's left tackle, who's seen as the number 1 guard in the draft, declared. Jalen McMillan, who had a kind of an injury-prone year this year. He declared for the draft, and I think their other receiver, Polk, I think it's Deshaun Polk. I think he declared for the draft too. So Washington definitely has some holes on that offense that they're gonna have to fill. Be interesting to see if they go to the portal to get a receiver. They're definitely gonna have a step back, but he's probably, if DeBoer doesn't take the Alabama job, he's definitely probably gonna shore up that offensive line in recruiting. And I guess this is more bad news. I don't know how you feel about it. Former Texas A&M wide receiver Evan Stewart, he was like I think he might have been the number 2 overall receiver in his recruiting class. He has like 2 years of eligibility left. He transferred from Texas A&M to Oregon.
This is bad. Bro's the dog. You're gonna miss him.
Oh yeah, he's a beast for sure. He's a playmaker.
After he made the most mid-ass quarterbacks look so much better at A&M. It's crazy. Like you know how I used to say that what's his name? I lost my train of thought. Texas A&M quarterback went to the Vikings recently.
Kellen Mond.
Yeah, Mond. Mond was an agent of averageness.
You're not wrong about that.
It never got better, if not worse, after Mond left. And Evan made them look so much better. In the same way that CeeDee Lamb was the world's greatest stat pattern for Jalen Hurts, and Evan Stewart played that role extremely well as well. But after A-Chain left, he really took on the role of leader that was vacant after Devon dipped. But it's a hard loss for sure. I'm really happy for him. I mean, Oregon's a great team. Honestly, I think they're in prime position to win a chip, so it'd be really cool for him to get a ring or whatever. I'm really happy for him, but it sucks. But it's kind of par for the course right now, is being an A&M fan. So,
and Oregon's kind of loaded because they get Dylan Gabriel at QB, Tez Johnson, who broke the single season receptions record, had over 1,000 yards. He's coming back. Bucky Irving left, but Oregon can find running backs. They have plenty of running backs. So you got Evan Stewart at one spot. He's replacing Troy Franklin. And then you have Tez Johnson coming back. Their tight end is coming back. Oregon's stacked. And their defense is returning.
They are stacked. They're going to be nasty this year.
Then you got Mountain West Freshman of the Year, Jordan Maiava. He officially signed his letter of intent to play at USC. So Lincoln Riley got his quarterback he can develop. He's also the first Polynesian quarterback to ever go to USC. So it's him and it's Miller Moss. I still say it's Miller Moss because I watched Jordan Maiava throw UNLV out of the Mountain West title game and their bowl game against Kansas. That kid needs work with his feet. He made some plays. UNLV obviously doesn't have the most amount of talent, but they had an All-American wide receiver in Ricky White III. But there's plays you can just go back and watch against Boise State where he's just chucking the ball downfield and missing receivers by 5-10 yards. And it's they could have probably won that game, but he was highly inaccurate, and USC's not going to accept that shit. He can't be going out there doing that. First, he committed to Georgia, then flipped back to USC, and I probably is because of the bag and the NIL situation. And I think he knew he wasn't going to play at Georgia. They already got their 5 stars and they're returning QB. I don't think Georgia would tolerate his inconsistent throwing. They just wouldn't. And then Malachi Nelson, former USC QB, went to Boise State. I was talking about it at the LA Bowl when I asked Spencer Danielson about Idaho getting its only in and out in the state. Now and then they got a defensive lineman from Ball State They got Ken Griffey Jr.'s son, who played at Florida A&M, and he has 2 years of eligibility left because he got a COVID year. So they got two corners, one corner from Cal, Ken Griffey Jr.'s son, who's a corner, a defensive lineman from Ball State, and Malachi Nelson, the highest rated recruit in Boise State history. 5-star, number one quarterback in his class, number one player in his class. And he's going to definitely start right away. He definitely makes Boise State a huge threat because they're returning a lot of players on defense. And their best player on offense, and Ashton Jenkins, is definitely going to the NFL next year, as long as he stays healthy. For Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr. finally declared for the draft. Kind of obvious. We knew that was going to happen. He didn't play in the bowl game, the Cotton Bowl against Missouri. And then Malik Nabers, LSU wide receiver, who almost won the Biletnikoff. He lost literally by 1 vote to Marvin Harrison Jr. Out of LSU, he's like the all-time leading receiver at LSU now. He declared for the draft. This is a huge receiver-heavy draft, so, Caleb Williams hasn't declared yet officially for the draft, by the way, but we all know he's going. There's no way he's coming back for his senior year, especially after not playing in the Holiday Bowl. That's just stupid. So, he has like 5 days left, and he's going to declare. It's too obvious not to declare.
Who's the deadline?
Huh?
Who's the deadline?
Like 5 days.
Mm.
Yeah, 5 days.
So the 16th?
Yeah. I think the 15th, actually.
MLK Day?
Huh?
MLK Day?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Speaking of MLK, I really need Jonathan Majors to just shut the fuck up about Coretta Scott King. It's really uncomfortable. Man, there's a civil rights fetish.
I don't know what you were referring to. I'm sorry.
Jonathan Majors.
No idea what you're
You kept bringing up Coretta Scott King. Don't worry about it.
Why? Like bad things or good things?
Like, he was telling his ex-girlfriend she needs to support him like Coretta Scott King supported MLK. And then he said that, Megan Good supported him like Coretta. And everybody's like, Coretta was 80 when she died, bro. And she died 15 years ago. Let that shit go. Why are you out here fawning over civil rights icons? You're 34, bro. What the fuck? It's weird. It's uncomfortable. It's making everybody uncomfortable.
I feel like I'm not getting something because I don't see why that's that bad.
It's just why are you bringing up a random civil rights icon? You're 34, bro. Megan Good's a little bit older than him. But he told his white ex-girlfriend, you need to support me like Coretta. And it's wait.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah, it's wait. Everybody's what the fuck did he just say? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even correlate. Why would you tell her to be like Coretta? That's not even fair.
Yeah, I get it.
And then he brought it up in his interview on ABC or Good Morning America or whatever about how Megan Good is supporting him like Coretta and holding him down like Coretta. And it's bro, let Coretta fucking sleep, okay? Just leave her alone. Even the family's yo, you gotta chill. So, that dude's just weird. For some reason, people from San Diego are just fucking weird. Him, Nick Cannon, Ricky Williams, there's a pattern with black dudes from San Diego.
Nick Cannon's from San Diego?
Yes, he's from San Diego.
Yeah. Put a shit stain on that nice city, huh?
No, he's good, but something about San Diego that just produces weird-ass people. I'm noticing it more and more.
I'm a big Nick Cannon hater. I've always disliked him.
Why do you hate Nick Cannon? Gigolo wasn't that bad. Goddamn. Gigolo was a bop.
He's
corny.
He's a cuck. B.
Wow, he jumped straight to cuck talk.
He has 19,000 baby mamas. C.
I mean, he can afford to pay for them all.
No, that's not the part though. I don't like the part is that he's very extremely publicly stated. Yes, I understand that I don't know my kids, but I don't care as long as I pay them. And that's like, those are your children. Like that's your offspring, your blood, your kin, your babies. And he talks to them about them like they're cattle, like they're objects, like they're nothing.
I mean, he don't love all their baby moms. Like, that's just...
And who gives a fuck about the women?
No, but like, you have to care about the woman that gives birth to your child.
No, not necessarily.
You kind of do.
You think Drake gave a fuck about that stripper that popped out his kid?
Porn star? Software porn star? He's embarrassed, though. He won't publicly claim her. Pusha T made sure he can never claim that woman.
Exactly, but he loves his kid, though.
Who looks like a weirdo, if we're being honest. Drake's kid looks weird as fuck.
I think his kid's beautiful. I think his kid's really cute.
You can tell that kid is mixed, and he's going to have a lot of problems later in life when he finds out his mom on Pornhub. That's all I'm saying.
His kid's, super I mean, he's a child, so, keep
yeah, children are children, but it's like, when you look at two parents and how they bring a kid here, you're like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Drake.
What I'm saying...
But Drake has stupid amounts of money, so it doesn't matter.
All I'm saying about Nick Cannon is I cannot imagine bringing life into this world, a child, someone who is related to me, my blood, my baby.
With 10 different people.
And not even just like that.
He's got a fucking baseball line with the kids.
He's trivialized being a parent already in the whole game show bit that he was doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Which was really tacky and tasteless. But just the fact that he's openly admitted that he is completely okay with the fact that he's never going to know his kids.
He kind of realized oh shit, I think I bit off more than I can chew. Because they're all scattered across the country, and it's yeah, dumbass, maybe you should have built a compound and had all of them live there. But since you have the money to do it, but you didn't, you're kind of complaining, and everybody told you stop having kids with random women because you can't be there for all your kids.
I don't care, dude. I don't care if my baby
from
mama
San Diego. Don't forget that.
If my baby mama actively kept my kids from me, even if she tried to hide them from me, bro, I would have followed my kids to the edge of the Atlas. There's no way I would just leave that. So I would. No, I don't know, man. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, to close out college football, Bama's losing recruits left and right. Quinn Ewers is coming back to Texas because, why wouldn't you? And it's a heavy QB class. You ain't getting drafted that high. Might as well go back to Texas because Arch Manning ain't ready. And the NCAA is out here trying to pin fucking Wolf of Wall Street charges on Florida State for NIL-related recruiting violations, disbanding their NIL from the program. It's a bunch of wild-ass charges. I'm going to go into more detail next week because I know Pete will have more to say about it. But me personally, this is some fade or fair type shit to me, and this is I'm going to just say it, not only is this wrong, they should fight this shit, and they should go full Nino Brown in New Jack City. This is bigger than me. I would immediately point my finger I would start snitching. You gonna come after me after the NCAA just fucked us out of a playoff spot because our quarterback got hurt and fucking 90% of the team fucking hopped in the portal, transferred, or sat out the game? Oh, and not only that, the University of Miami has been paying with clearly cocaine cowboy money, fucking definitely probably some Cuban drug dealer money, paying all these fucking 5-star recruits to come to Miami, and they're out here losing to Rutgers in a bowl game, but you want to come penalize me, Florida State? Yeah, I'll be snitched on every fucking body.
So many strays for no reason.
Bro, everybody would be catching strays. I would be fucking shooting at everybody. The University of Miami has been brandishing all this money, getting all these top recruits, and not elevating any of them, and none of them making it to the league, and they're all ass. And Mario Cristobal was touted for his recruiting classes, and they all fucking suck. His starting quarterback transferred to Wisconsin.
That was for NIL, obviously.
Tyler Van Dyke broke a Miami quarterback passing record. And then they lost 3 other QBs.
Yeah.
And it's like, Cristobal, what the fuck are you doing? You could have been a hot name that would have been going to Alabama. You left Oregon, and now you're shitting it up at your alma mater. He played at Miami. He won a championship at Miami. And now they're just hot dog shit, and they're losing bowl games to Rutgers. Shout out to Greg Schiano. I can't believe I'm saying that. I was kicking his back in. But, yeah, so that's it. Touchdown or turnover. Let's get it. You want to read it off?
Sure. Let's see. So, the Bears fired their offensive coordinator. Is it Getsy?
Luke Getsy.
I always say Getsy, but people say Getsy to me, so I don't know.
Well,
Bears fire. Either way, whatever. Tomato. Bears fire their offensive coordinator. Touchdown or turnover?
I mean, honestly, I would say it's both because that offense was ass, and all they did was produce a small amount of touchdowns and a shit ton of turnovers. But no,
yeah.
all jokes aside, it's a touchdown. Because Matt Eberflus needed a fall guy. That's why he fired, I think, his defensive coordinator, his quarterback coach. He fired like 4 coaches. So, you know, Eberflus is next. His head is next on the chopping block after this season. Because Justin Fields isn't a bad player. And he fought hard after coming back from injury. But this offense doesn't really help him. And instead of actually running an offense that would utilize his skill set and the players you drafted and the receiver that you paid, the Bears look like shit. And you have the number 1 overall pick. I personally would have fired Eberflus and tried to get Harbaugh. But that's just me. I would have fired Eberflus. There's nothing that he did to justify bringing him back. But hey, it is what it is. Next one.
Next up, we got Titans firing Vrabel. Touchdown or turnover?
Yeah, I think a lot. There are reports saying he didn't want to work with Carthon, the GM. It was more like he was trying to dictate his shit to the new GM, and it's like, bro, you've underachieved. AJ Brown's not here. Your offense is ass. Your defense is worse. Outside of the 6 playoff appearances are cool, but you rode Derrick Henry to the very end and got nothing out of it. And his message was probably just running stale on the team. You kind of have to fire him and try to get a new head coach because there's a lot of names this cycle, but he's definitely going to get another job. But I just think the way that ownership group, and you got a new GM, and he came from the 49ers, so he knows what success looks like more than Vrabel does. They had to fire Vrabel. I think it was just the best thing for both sides.
Fair enough. All right, next up we got Martindale actually resigned himself as the Giants' defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Wink Martindale. He was actually, I think, like a linebackers coach or whatever for the Ravens, and then took the Giants' DC job, and him and Brian Daboll had like a huge blowout argument that got really intense. And it probably went something like this. Your fucking stupid ass decided to pay Daniel Jones all that money and your offense was fucking garbage. You put my defense on the field for long ass times and cats got hurt and people gave up yardage. Yeah, but the defense wasn't great, so it's not like you were helping all that much. Yeah, but again, you paid bum ass Daniel Jones. Maybe you should fire yourself, Brian. Maybe you should go apply and try to get the Alabama head coaching job because you ain't an NFL head coach. Fuck you. That's probably how that conversation went. But yeah, it got real heated. So that's a touchdown for Wink Martindale to get the hell up out of out of New York and away from the Giants because both New York football teams are just a cluster fuck of trash right now.
Yep. All right, next up, the Commanders fired Ron Rivera a few days back.
Touchdown. Needed to happen. He's not going to get another head coaching job. Really nice guy, great human being, as some people would say.
I agree.
Not a needle mover as a head coach. Kind of ruined his franchise, honestly. Probably could have been fired last year. Wasting a lot of talent. Got your O-lines embarrassed. Got your quarterback destroyed. And now you might have to go get another quarterback, and you have the worst offensive line in the league. I mean, God forbid Caleb Williams was running for his life behind that bum-ass offensive line. Oh, and you traded your 2 best edge rushers for nothing, for a bottle of penicillin. And you don't even have something that needs penicillin. So you just, traded for some shit that doesn't even help you. 2 edge rushers gone.
This is an interesting metaphor for Ron Rivera.
Yep. You traded your car for a month's supply of penicillin. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're fucked. You're going nowhere. Okay. You're going nowhere fast.
Honestly, this is super tinfoil hat of me, and I might sound like a huge hater. I really, really like Ron Rivera as a person. I'm going to put that out there before I say anything.
Yeah, of course.
But he's a really cool guy. Inspirational story, all that, whatever. But I think back in 2020, things were not looking good for him back then. I think he was... the Commanders were already kind of, soured on him, from the get-go, because just his start wasn't good, whatever. Then he, did happen to, get diagnosed with cancer, and then his outlook with the team increased. And I really do think that his condition kept him in Maryland longer than it would have naturally if he didn't get cancer.
That's fair.
Again, that's actually crazy to say, but it's just a personal theory of mine. I don't know.
Yeah, because you can't fire a guy who has cancer. That's fucked up. There's multiple guys who have had the former Colts head coach Chuck Pagano had cancer and came back. So guys have had cancer and came back. John Mechie had fucking cancer in his blood. Came back and now he's playing.
Yeah, the fact that he survived that is crazy. And not only survived it, but was able to come back is insane. I don't know much about medicine and all that, but I do know that blood cancer is the lethality of that's got to be in the 90% at least.
Yeah, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is a son of a bitch. It's terrible.
I mean, I know that once it gets to the lymph nodes, you're most of the time you're kind of, it's a lot. I don't want to say you're fucked, but it's definitely a lot more serious. But yeah, no. Again, obviously, that's just it's disrespectful saying, but it's always just been a personal theory of mine that I'll never be able to prove, but it's just kind of a little hunch, I guess.
I mean, it's not fair. It's not too far off. If he doesn't get cancer, he wasn't winning. Yeah. He the whole Dwayne Haskins situation was bad. So I mean, yeah. Close out these last 2. Let's just combine them. Panthers fired their GM. I'm just kidding. I can't say his last name, but it doesn't. Frankfurter. We'll just call him Frankfurter. Fucking.
Oh, I skipped him the first time. I just realized.
Yeah. So the Panthers fired their GM, and the Falcons fired bum ass Arthur Smith, who is the
Arthur Smith getting fired is a huge touchdown. Absolute bum.
Those are both touchdowns. He got money, so I don't feel bad for Arthur Smith. But the fact that he got fired and went out dog cussing Dennis Allen, who somehow, think about it, Vrabel got fired, Belichick stepped down, Caroll stepped down. I'd rather have Nick Saban coach my team than fucking Dennis Allen.
Hell yeah, fuck?
And Nick Saban was not a good NFL head coach. So it's like, you can't talk to grown men like they're children, because even though he made Manny Wright cry, which is crazy, from a USC D tackle. He made a grown man cry. That picture went viral. That dude's career never was the same after that. But yeah, like, a grown man would be like, "Hey, Coach Saban, I'll punch you in your shit." I hope you know that. Like,
how long was he with the Dolphins? I can't remember.
2 years. And then he said, I'm not taking the head coaching job at Alabama, so stop asking me about it. And then he took the job. And then he apologized about how he handled it.
Wait.
Miami media kicked his back end for a while. And then he just kept winning at Bama.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
wait
yeah,
a minute.
Know? Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, no. That clip was not from him being in Miami. Him saying, I'm not going to, so stop asking. That was not him in Miami. I would bet every dollar in my bank account. He said that when he what's their mascot? I don't fucking know.
Oh, no, he was talking to, that was a different situation. When he was at Alabama and he was cussing on the field. He's done that multiple times. But no, like, he went viral because he was yelling at media people, I'm not going to Alabama, so stop asking me. And then he went to Alabama. That was a thing. That was a real thing. It happened.
Oh, but do you know what I'm talking about? The famous, like, meme quote that he has?
Yeah, that's like, I think 5-6 years ago.
He's talking about, what it was is that, how do you say?
It was definitely during halftime of a game. He was not happy. That shit was
basically asking. A reporter asked him, like, who's
Maria
better?
Taylor.
Well, someone asked him who's better, Tua or Jalen Hurts or whatever, and he basically was just like, I think they're both really good. Okay, so leave me alone or whatever. Why do you keep asking me to say something? Like, why do you keep asking me to pick one? I'm not going to, so stop asking.
Yeah, he went off on Maria Taylor about that, and then he went off on, like, a couple more people about that. And then people checked his ass about it. And he kind of didn't really apologize.
Yeah, I felt bad for the chick, what'd you call her? Maria Taylor, right?
Her name is Maria Taylor.
I felt bad for her because, like, you know, she's obviously fed those questions. And so, like, the way he, like, got so angry and the kind of, like, you know, like, was super aggressive towards her for her probably just reading off something that, like, her director told her to say, you know what I mean?
But everybody wanted to know because, I mean, Tua's dad was like, if you don't fucking play my son, he will leave. And then it's funny, he wrote a letter to the NCAA to give Tua's little brother his eligibility back.
Jalen did get benched, right, for Tua?
Yeah, and, like, Tua would have left had Jalen not gotten benched. He didn't really want to bench Jalen Hurts. That's why he was so sad when he left.
Yeah.
But, like, he didn't want to bench Jalen
That's
Hurts.
The thing, though, is Alabama fans were really bad to Jalen whenever that, like,
the
debacle was taking place. Everyone kind of turned against him and basically was on the Tua train and wanted him to get benched, and so...
Yeah, and his dad was... There's whole, not rumors, but, like, people who were there behind the scenes, like, Tua's dad was fucking him up. Tua's dad was very abusive.
Though. Like, that's his kid.
No, like, he was beating the shit out of him. Like Todd Marinovich fucking him up.
I mean, if that was your kid, too, like, you would do the same, I feel like, right?
I mean, like, grown man stomping Tua's ass out. Like, it was highly abusive behind the scenes.
Wait, what? Huh?
Yes,
I meant, like, advocating for your kid.
He was beating Tua's ass. Like, Tua was actually born right-handed. He fucking made it to where Tua had to throw left-handed.
Tua's dad was beating Tua's ass?
Yes, there's whole stories about it. Like, people don't want to go on the record, but, like, there's people who were
I
like...
I thought you were saying that he was just advocating really hard for him. I didn't know that he was abusive.
Yeah, it was a lot.
While Tua was in college?
I mean, people won't come out and like put their name on it, but it's been confirmed in a lot of different circles. Like, yeah, Tua was getting his ass beat by his dad. Like, his dad was super hard on him.
What did you say again?
Forced his he like tied his arm behind his back or whatever, so Tua would be left-handed, shit like that. But apparently Tua's right-handed.
Really? Because I've heard. I mean, as a left-handed person.
Oh shit, you are left-handed. I forget about that.
Huh?
I forget you're left-handed.
Yeah. As a left-handed person, most of the time it's the opposite. People try to force you to be right-handed. So it surprises me that his dad would want to force him to be left-handed.
Left-handed QBs are usually more accurate.
Really?
Yeah. It's a different kind of zip on the ball when you're left-handed. Because I'm actually ambidextrous throwing the football.
Same.
Like, I'm much better throwing left-handed. I'm hella accurate throwing lefty.
I mean, I'm more
I
accurate.
launch that shit. Like, I dial up the nuclear launch codes throwing right-handed. Like, I chuck that shit throwing right-handed. But left-handed, I'm way more accurate.
I mean, I would say I'm more accurate throwing left-handed too, but I just always figured it's because I'm, left-handed. So I guess I just never, connected those dots. So
I never understood that shit. I'm super accurate throwing left-handed, but there's just not as much velocity or like arm strength on it. It's weird.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
Tom Rivich's dad did that too. He tied his arm behind his back so his son would be left-handed. But yeah, there's stories about Tua's dad.
Was left-handed. Like, I just straight up just thought he was left-handed. Like, us left-handed people, like, we be identifying each other. Like, we notice each other very easily.
How you grab stuff.
Huh?
How you grab stuff.
Yeah, that and whatever else. Like, like, as a right-handed person, I'm sure you never, like, look at someone writing right-handed and, like, notice the fact that they're writing right-handed or maybe even left-handed. But, like, left-handed people, when another left-handed person is doing anything left-handedly, it's always very obvious because we're not used to seeing our actions mirrored or whatever to us. Mm-hmm. And so, like, we, like, notice and identify with that person instantaneously. And so I've always noticed that Tua is left-handed. But I didn't know that it was, like, a traumatic... I didn't know it was, like, a traumatic story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it's all played out. And, like, there's certain stuff, like, people won't just, like... They won't publicly put names on it, but there are people who are there, people behind the scenes, people who know people who saw things like, nah, Tua's dad was fucking him up. Like, Tua's dad was hard on him. So it's like, it's a weird dynamic. And a lot of, like, Polynesian dads do that now.
Yeah. Whenever, like how athletes will post pictures of themselves, like, signing NFL contracts?
Mm-hmm.
Tua did, and I'm pretty sure he was signing with his right hand, and I, like, noticed it, because, again, like, I knew he was left-handed, and so I saw that he was signing with his right hand in the photo, and I was like, that's odd, I guess he's ambidextrous, but I just, like, continued to never think about it ever again, because, like, I just figured he was ambidextrous.
Right-handed, he just throws lefty.
Damn. Yikes, bro.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Yeah. On the take or tangent. We'll have sound effects next week.
Take or tangent. Unfortunately, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers once again. He basically went on a rant on the Pat McAfee show saying that, like, the Jets are a shit organization right now and they need to clear up, like, all of the shit they have going on, and he said bullshit. Sorry, they're a bullshit organization, and they need to flush all their bullshit and put all their bullshit in a bag and throw it away or some stupid shit like that. So
put a Rick and Morty, like, put all your shit, put it in a bag, and get it together.
Yeah, something like that. So he basically is saying that there was way too much drama and extraness on the team this year, and when he is healthy next year and comes back to quarterback, shit's going to be different, basically.
which is funny because he's the cause of like 98 fucking percent of it. Like Garrett Wilson was like, people are like, you had a great year. He had 95 catches for like 1,042 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's like, this is the worst year of my fucking life. Your star receiver said that. Breece Hall's like, this is a horrible year. I should have had 1,000 yards. We'll be better next year.
Yeah.
Like franchise players at running back and receiver, all because you're fucking old ass QB. And then it's like, do you draft a QB now?
Yeah.
Like, the Jets are kind of like, Aaron has them by the balls, but it's like, bro, if your leg ain't healthy, then we're just repeating the same thing. And Robert Saleh's ass ain't surviving another year if they don't make the playoffs.
It don't matter how good Aaron Rodgers is. He's fucking old. Draft somebody. Straight up.
Yeah, it's done.
News is already broke that they're looking to trade Zach Wilson, so...
For what? I don't fucking know. They better just draft a new QB and start over.
Bag of potato chips and a half-eaten banana.
I mean, you can't even get... I wouldn't even be able to get penicillin back for fucking...
To be honest,
Allen.
I think...
I mean, not Josh Allen.
Who was worth more? Who could you get more worth out of? Mac Jones or Zach Wilson?
I'd rather have Mac Jones.
I think they play Zach Wilson.
I'd rather have Mac Jones than Zach Wilson.
Oof. I think they were both kind of fucked by the organization separately, not gonna lie. And also, we've had less of Zach Wilson to get proven on his...
Mac Jones is a dirty player, but he's more mature and he knows how to play within an offense because he had Nick Saban as a coach. Zach Wilson was just a pretty boy who could do whatever he wanted at BYU, and then when he got up against grown men, he got his ass beat.
I love that clip of him at the draft. Like, just like him surrounded by like all those black men, and he looked visibly uncomfortable. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that shit was funny.
I love that clip.
And then the whole Mill story that allegedly he smashed his teammate's mom.
Okay, that shit went hard though. Like, that's his legacy.
I mean, if his mom is fine as hell, I can't even knock him for that. Like, you out here taking down Mills. I mean, do you?
How do you come to practice after that? Hey, little buddy.
I mean, if he drops a pass, like, hey, you drop another pass, I'm telling your mom. I'm telling Caroll. We talked about it over dinner last night.
As young as Zach Wilson is, I bet that teammate is older than him too. So, like,
it's a wide receiver. It's a wide receiver he played with. Fucked his mom, allegedly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as young as Zach is, that wide receiver is probably older than him.
A couple of years, yeah. He was definitely older. He definitely had his LDS mission already.
Yeah. Oof. But anyway.
Speaking of taking down Mills.
Yeah. I mean, that's his legacy. If being a shitty quarterback and fucking hot moms, fair enough, right?
I mean, hey.
I mean, that's all we really strive for in this life.
Honestly, yeah, pretty much.
All right, next up. All right, so PGA Tour legend, the GOAT, Tiger Woods. He ended his partnership with Nike, probably one of, if not the most famous brand athlete partnerships of all time, after 27 years, because he has his own brand now and he wants to sponsor himself. So
this is giving me Kobe Bryant vibes once he all I know is I just hope Tiger Woods stays away from helicopters and just lays low for a little bit. Dead ass. Pardon the pun, but like, for real. Because anytime somebody goes into business for themselves at a high level like that, they end up dead. Michael ended up dead. Prince ended up dead. The dude who made a fucking car that ran on water got murdered in Buffalo.
Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that dude literally, there was a whole news story on him, and he just gets killed, and they called it a race riot because the white dude killed a bunch of black people in Buffalo. But that dude literally made a car that ran on solely water.
Yeah, it was big oil. It was big oil who killed him.
Like, the shit makes me uncomfortable when I see people do... Like, I love seeing people doing this and having that autonomy for their careers, but then it's like something weird always happens to you. Like, oh, you got your master's back. Then you fucking randomly die. oh, you got a whole brand, and now it's just going to be the Tiger brand, and then you got a son who's really good, and then his son is like cousins to Blake Griffin and Matt Leinart's kids. Oh shit! So now Tiger Woods is going to be sponsoring a whole high school team with just his gear and not Nike gear. Do you know how much money that is? He's going to be printing money.
Wait, Tiger Woods is related to Blake Griffin?
No, his kids are related to Blake Griffin's kids and Matt Leinart's kids. They're all cousins.
Yeah. Like, what's the...
Baby mamas. Baby mamas.
Oh, shit.
All the baby mamas. Yep. So it's
yeah,
like...
talking about freaking...
Tiger Woods gonna go from golf apparel to fucking athletic apparel, and then you're gonna see a high school football team like IMG Academy be fully sponsored by Tiger Woods' gear, and Nike's gonna be mad as fuck about it. So I mean, just protect Tiger Woods at all costs, because he literally lived up to the term, that Nike goes by. He just did it.
I mean, man, I cannot stand Tiger Woods, so I'm not even gonna say anything.
So I have to give that man his flowers.
Huh?
I had to give that man his flowers. That's a power move. Whether you like it or not, that is a power move.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, for sure. No matter how you feel about the guy. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the thing is, though, is like, if you like compare the whole kind of brand thing, right? It's not really the same thing, because the Nike Tiger Woods partnership was much more iconic. But Tom Brady made his own brand, TB12.
It has its own store in Boston. It's very nice. I've been there.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty popular in New England. And I have seen, occasionally I've seen a person here or there wearing a TB12 hat or whatever, but I don't think it was nearly as popular as Tom had envisioned it would have been. He does sell a lot of edible products, protein powders and bars and stuff like that, so we have no idea how really successful the brand is, because most of the products that he sells are in people's homes rather than on their backs, but I think it's going to be a similar thing. Maybe
10 years. His niece is a very good softball player. All it takes is for a high school to adopt his products. Or his niece. I think it's niece.
Well, I was going to say, if Brady's brand was kind of mid, then I don't know if I expect Tiger Woods to be much better.
That's the thing. You start small. And all you need is that one private high school to be sponsored by Tom Brady that has a bunch of D1 athletes, and the rest takes care of itself. Then you get a guy, QB signing day. He has an exclusive NIL deal with Tom Brady's brand, and then boom,
from today, the freaking San Francisco 49ers will be TB12 brand.
Hey, in 20 years it could happen. People could start moving away from these legacy brands and look, I don't trust Nike. I trust Tom Brady, though.
Honestly, I really wish we would. I have no problem with Nike. I really love the Oklahoma is sponsored by Jordan or whatever.
Yeah, brand Jordan.
No problem.
Whole Big
no
12,
problem. Shit looks nice or whatever.
Except those alternate unis. Those pants were disgusting.
I think they looked great. I think you're just tripping, but
nah, they should have went white. They should have went that jersey, different color socks, and some chrome white pants. That shit would have been off-white pants.
They did the full color on purpose. It was a tribute to a former player.
Oh, see, I didn't know that part. I just thought they were that. It was too much scarlet, in my opinion, and the gray didn't really. There should have been more gray on the belt and the socks than the side of the pants.
Scarlet, 80% of the uniform is gray.
It's
entirely gray with a little bit of red.
I would have just touched up the color scheme a little bit because it's Nike. You look at what Boise State does with their color schemes.
I would have made the pants red if I could have, but I think it looked fine. But no, it was in tribute to a former player. who had like died or something.
Yeah,
so
it worked. I just like would have made some creative tweaks, but I mean, they did what they did. They beat the shit out of them that day.
Anyway, so any last thoughts on the Tiger Woods ending his partnership with Nike?
Nah, I'm pretty much over it.
All right, so same. So the NBA is changing their draft format to a 2-night event, starting I think this upcoming.
That gives me 2 days to not give a shit about it. This is definitely a Pete question. This is definitely a Pete topic. Me personally, I don't care. Like,
I like it just because
NBA draft night bores me.
The NBA draft is just
like NBA and WNBA drafts bore the shit out of me.
Like, I cannot watch a draft for more than like 3 hours. I'm 4, 5, 6 hours in. It's just.
I watch the NFL draft because it's captivating and there's more rounds. But the NBA draft, get this shit over with.
They separate that shit. What is it, like 3 days?
Yeah, but here's the thing. With the NBA draft, it's like, okay, after the top 10 picks, you don't give a shit anymore. You really don't care.
But that's the thing, though, is that if they break it up, it might be a little bit more interesting. And because, I mean, if you think about it, like, let's say, like, the NFL draft comes around and it's just the first and second round. And yes, those were the best players, obviously, but then they break up the rest of it until the next day. And so you're anticipate, even though it's like mid-level players. I feel like it'll translate to the NBA even if it just a little bit, you know?
I mean, think about it. Nobody gives a shit about the NBA Combine. But you will watch the NFL Combine. That shit gets really good numbers.
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time you watched the NBA Combine?
Oh, man. Like 3 years ago.
And it's on TV. They play it during the day. But don't nobody watch that shit.
Yeah.
And when the draft comes, once it's Wemby, once you knew Wemby was going, after like the top 15 picks, you don't care. So it's actually better. It's better that they're splitting it up to 2 days because you can kind of flush out the storytelling and like the second round means more. But you actually have to have the research and the storytelling up to snuff and treat the second round just like the first round and make it really captivating. Otherwise, there's no reason for me to watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because guess what? It's just like when fucking all these European players come over and I don't know shit about them. And then I don't have a reason to care because they're not going to play for 2 or 3 years. It's like, well, what's the point? But that's just me. And also, we care more about free agency in the NBA and the trade deadline than the draft. And we already know the Pistons are going to get fucked again. So
yeah, probably.
You know,
I do like aspects of it more than the NFL though. I do kind of like the lottery thing. So, because it how do you say it? It keeps teams from tanking or whatever. Because I think it's a lot easier to tank in the NBA than it would be in the NFL.
I mean, but the Pistons keep tanking. They can't get the first overall pick. If they had gotten Wemby, they wouldn't have had a 28-game losing streak. The Spurs didn't fucking need Wemby. They know they didn't.
I think they genuinely just suck.
Yeah, but like if you put Wemby on the Pistons, they're better.
Well, obviously. I mean, shit, man. You put...
Hell, imagine if the Knicks were trash and they got Wemby. That's ratings. Like, the draft only matters because of the lottery. Honestly.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, exactly. Kawhi Leonard wasn't a lottery pick. But that's because he developed. Nowadays, they're going more international. So a lot of these people you've never seen, and you got to wait till they play. Like, I don't care about the draft. I care about Summer League. I care about watching Summer League. I don't give a fuck if you got drafted first or last or not at all. That's where I'm at with it. But I'm like, I don't really care to talk basketball. I just watch it. And the Lakers suck, so I have nothing to really be happy about because the Lakers are terrible.
Yeah. We might be going to the Lakers game on Wednesday, but I'm not quite sure yet.
Do it. go.
It's Lakers Mavericks.
Oh yeah, definitely do that. Definitely do that.
Yeah, and Will's a big Mavericks fan. So
watch Luka play. Watch Luka put up 40.
That's the thing, though, is he's unsure because he thinks that they might pull Luka for the game. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait, since we live like only what is it? Probably definitely less than 2 miles from Crypto. We're just gonna wait. It's honestly pretty easy to get there. It's just hard to get back. So what we're probably gonna do is we're gonna wait until like an hour before the game starts, and then go on Ticketmaster and see if they have like any of those like really cheap last second like how do you say panic sales?
Yeah,
because they're like a little bit too expensive right now. But
SeatGeek, have you tried SeatGeek?
We're probably looking on StubHub, but StubHub has usually
treated. Rob you, and you know it.
I think Ticketmaster is probably the worst out of all of them, so usually try to avoid that one. But
StubHub it.
Well,
I mean,
we're just gonna wait until right before the game starts because usually those tickets are super cheap, and then we'll just scoot on over cheap enough.
But definitely try SeatGeek for sure.
Yeah, he's been to a few games at Crypto, but I've never actually made it out there before. And
Have you ever actually been to the Staples Center?
No, never been.
There you go.
I do need to go though because I hear it's pretty cool.
I refuse to call it Crypto. I'm calling it the Staples Center. The house that Kobe built.
You want a cookie, bro? No, I'm fucking with you. All right. Anyway.
I'm definitely getting some food, and I gotta go to the gym after this. So yeah.
All right. Closing out, take or tangent. The Jaguars go from a 99% probability to make the playoffs mid-season to missing them entirely with the Week 18 loss.
To the Titans, who fired Mike Vrabel, but Dennis Allen is still a head coach. That's why the head coach Doug Peterson fired defensive coordinator. There's no reason why that team should be that fucking bad and choke that bad. Think about it. The Colts lost because they didn't have Jonathan Taylor on the field on 4th and 1, and he was averaging like 8.5 yards a carry. And you put a guy out there who is never in that situation, and they lose, and a bunch of things happen and spiral, and now the Houston Texans are the AFC South champions. And all the Jaguars had to do was win. They just had to beat the bum-ass Titans, and they couldn't even do that. So, yeah, that's their fault. They deserve to be at home. And Trevor Lawrence needs to get his shit together because that whole draft class is looking kind of busty. And not in a good way. Looking real busted. Like dropping a can of fucking those Pillsbury biscuits. If you just pop one of those in the middle of an aisle, that's what that draft class is looking like at quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, I don't know how much money he gonna get paid, but it's not gonna be. He already took a loss on his rookie contract because most of it was fucking cryptocurrency, and now you playing like shit. In a year, you and Justin Fields are supposed to get paid. It's not looking too great.
Big group.
Fair or fade.
I didn't have anything else to put in this section, so I figured we could. I stuck Groot in there at the bottom.
No, that was a good one actually. Because it's weird. He's like a fucking parasite, even though he's actually suing the NFL and he's still on staff, and they're talking about making him the head coach if Dennis Allen gets fired. So.
Oh, I thought it was a non-head coach staffing job.
No, it is, but like, he's literally, if he gets fired, I mean, he has the most head coaching experience on that staff, and Derek Carr would vouch for him. So it's kind of like, do you really want this problem in your locker room? Because personally, I saw no problem with Jamal Williams getting that touchdown, and everybody's trying to say, they're trying to put the blame on Jameis, but I'm like, you know what? The team said they wanted it. So whether Jameis was in or Taysom Hill was in, the team said they wanted it. You get mad at Jameis.
I don't know. I don't think that the Saints are going to touch Gruden. I think it's a little too controversial.
Plus, he has an active lawsuit against them. So against the league.
It would be different if it was like some type of like questionable and or like arguable stuff or whatever. But like, bro got caught in 4K, like being like the worst. So I feel like it's not even that the Saints care, because honestly, these billion-dollar corporations couldn't give a shit less if you're, racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever. But I think it's just they don't want to deal with the backlash that hiring him would provide. I don't think they think it's worth it. He's not a good enough coach for it to be worth it. I don't think so. Like, I doubt it. Maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah, crazier things have happened, but I don't know why the hell the Saints didn't fire Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
You could look at all the coaches. Yeah, the fact that my iPad is doing that shit is really weirding me out now. Because I'm not even touching the screen. That shit just
zooming in and out.
But yeah. Anyway. The Saints are just a dumpster fire. They wasted a Super Bowl caliber defense, and it's kind of sad. But yeah. So final thoughts. You want to go first, or?
Oh, for Rams? Yeah. I don't have much to say. I'm big sad about Bill Belichick. I wish him best in his future endeavors. Whether that means him hanging out on a beach with his wife in Cabo or coaching another NFL team. I wish him the best in whatever he does, but I will be. I'm on my 12th and a half reason right now, so I'm trying not to get to 13. So, but other than that, I'm excited for this weekend. Tomorrow is my fiance's birthday, and I obviously have a very interesting surprise in store for him this weekend, so I'm super excited to do that with him, and let's just hope for his and my sanity that the Cowboys pull one out this weekend, because it would be awkward if they didn't. I will say, since he's not in the room with me at the moment, but this poor kid, he's never been ever in his entire life to any Cowboys game ever where they won, ever. He's been to several Cowboys games, including multiple playoff games, including Packers versus Cowboys playoff games, and never have they ever won, ever, in his entire life where he's been present. That historic season they had, not historic, but really good season they had back in 16, 15, when Zeke and Dak were rookies and they were really good. He only went to 2 games that season, and it was both times they played the Giants, and it was both times they lost. So, however, on my end, I have never ever been to a football game in my entire life where the team I was rooting for didn't win. Every single time I've ever been to a game in my entire life, that whatever team I was rooting for won that game. So, whether it be college, NFL, actually, there was a high school game I went to one time where they lost, but I don't know if that counts. So, his bad mojo and my good mojo might just even out, so hopefully they have a decent chance. So, sickens me to say, but I will be rooting for them this weekend. So.
That's dope. That's excellent. My team sucks, so I don't really care who wins. So, sure, why not? Why not a Cowboys victory? I guess they deserve it. But if the Chiefs lose, that would be fantastic for me. That's chef's kiss. Yeah, it's been a weird week. Weird first 10 or 11 days of 2024. Between comedian Cat Williams calling people out, people doing weird shit on Twitter.
Yep.
It's an interesting year. A lot of stuff. Family went to go. My mom, sister, nephew all went to go visit my grandma. Sometime this year I'm gonna get the chance to go do that, so I'm excited about that. It's just when I got back from the 3 bowl games and then the national championship game went down, and I was like, damn, I should be out there. But you make sacrifices, you make choices. Now I'm gearing up for the Senior Bowl at the end of the month. It's going to be a very interesting time, and I'm super excited for my birthday next month because it's about 30. Let's see. Today's
what day is it on again?
February 19th.
Right.
I don't know what day that falls on, but I'm about 34 days away. 35? No, wait. 37 days away. 37 days. So
You said the 19th? That should be a Monday.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's a trip for sure. It's like 32 years. 30 was like a very sobering year, and then last year was crazy. I almost died, and then checked off all my bucket list shit for college football, or almost all my bucket list stuff for college football to close out the year. But now I'm in an even better position now. Pac-12's done. Looking towards the Big Ten and just some other things I got going this year. And feels pretty good. Really optimistic about, all the things I'm going to get done this year. And at this point now, it's just like, okay, the money's going to come. I know. I'm close. I feel it. Might even play the lottery. Who knows? And, yeah. About to head off to the gym. This is Touchdowns and Tangents. Pete will be back next week. Thanks again, y'all, for hanging in with us. Salute to Nikki. Salute to the cat. I'm not going to say go Cowboys because but good luck. Good luck in your team's future endeavors. And, yeah, we're going to call that. Y'all have a good one.